Hi, it's Maria from the tarot shop here. I had a moment then to think about who I was. With a very exciting walkthrough of a brand new deck on the marketplace. It's literally been out for, I think, 2 or 3 days. It's the 26th of May today, so a couple of days out new. I can't speak with any tremendous authority on Dungeons and Dragons, I have to admit, because I don't immerse myself in that world. But I imagine that if you are a Dungeons and Dragons fan, then you're going to love each and every single one of these cards. If not, I'm sure that you'll find them very appealing too. So basically it's a standard 78 card deck. You've got the major arcana and the 4 suits. They do name them slightly differently, so we'll just talk about that in a second. And it just says the cards are illustrated with iconic characters from the Forgotten Realms. So let's have a look at the book. It's a little booklet. Within it, a slight introduction at the front, and then it tells you about the different types of, so they, for example, they've called one strength because it signifies your physical ability, intelligence, the power of the intellect, so that's swords, wisdom is the emotions, so that's cups, and charisma are the pentacles, so the material world. Uprights and reverse give you some card spread suggestions, and then from there they go straight into the cards, and each card then you have a meaning for it. So let's have a look at these cards. I don't think I'll ever be so silent because I know they're very Rider-Waite based. I've had a look through them, obviously, because you can see that I've opened them. So I can see that some of them follow very similar. So even if you're not a Dungeons and Dragons fan and you love these cards, it's a transferable skill. You'd be able to make the connection between the Fool in this and the Fool in the Rider-Waite, for example, who's taking a step off into the unknown. And Rider-Waite is a deck, as you know, that we kind of teach all newbies. Not all tarot readers, but I certainly do. So the Fool, Magician. I don't know the characters, so I imagine that this is, you know, some people will watch this and think that it's amazing. I think they're amazing, but from a visual point of view, because I can't make the connection with the characters. The Empress. The Hierophant, and that's on the front page, the front of the box rather. So the Hierophant is all about teaching and mentorship, so an inner knowledge and sharing that knowledge with the world. The Lovers. Chariot. A slightly colourful but unattractive goblin, I think. The Strength. If I've just named that incorrectly, please feel free to correct me in the comments. Hermit. It's a very attractive hermit. Wheel of Fortune. So this is nice. You've got a dragon. Justice. That feels very justice. And you could make the connection with them even if you don't, let's say, even if you don't really know the characters. I've never seen a hanged man like this. It's usually the one guy hanging down or female hanging down with a foot up on the tree, but so this means delays, stagnation, hanging around, not able to move forward, as you're waiting. So it'll be interesting to see if that relates to that character. Death, Temperance. Oh, good grief, look at these horrible looking things. The Devil, offering you a nice glass of wine. The Tower. We got some dragons. She was bringing your wishes come true. The lovely Star. The Moon, Hidden Path. The Sun. I did look at this when I first saw them and I was like, okay, so it's got the sun in it, but it doesn't really say happy ever after or happiness. So the Sun is like an amazing card to get in a tarot reading. Okay, Judgment. You can see this as he's coming to gate you. Say, right, come on, we've got work to do. Follow me to your destiny. That's what that means. And I like the World as well, because they're just basically taking a moment to celebrate how far they've obviously got the treasure, the job's done. And now it's time to just take a moment and enjoy life before we start another adventure. And that's the World. The World is now at your feet because you've done it. Okay, so we're moving on to Wands, and I'm trying to remember what they called them, the Wands. It doesn't really matter, it'll come to me in a minute when I'm reading through. Okay, so Strength, that was it. I knew it would come to me eventually. All Wands. And this is a 10 of Wands, and if you, or 10 of Strength. In the Rider-Waite, if you know the Rider-Waite, you could transfer your knowledge across to these and start using these almost straight away, because this is carrying the weight on your world on your back, isn't it? So you've got the weight of the world on your shoulders. So that's exactly what it says. You could make the connection. Oh, goodness me. Page, sprinkling up a little bit of magic there. They're new beginnings, aren't they? So they're new paths that are coming in divine intervention. Knight, slaying the dragon or beastie. Queen, king. And then we move on to the, I think this is the swords. So this is intelligence or intellect. The swords are always quite tough. Oh, that's a heartbreak card. The swords are always quite tough to deal with, aren't they? Waiting, patience, having the rest sign. But as with everything in life, this too shall pass. I hope you're enjoying them. So that's 8. I mean, that's usually a figure stood with the swords in the ground, isn't it? So like a spider cocoon. And in the Rider-Waite, she's sitting on a bed and really troubled. Anxiety is in your head. Bad dreams, nightmares, that sort of thing. And this is just about as bad as it's going to get before it gets better. So it's the end of the road. And it's horrible in the Rider-Waite because there's got all these knives stabbed in their back. Oh, that's a beautiful page. And then we move on to the cups, which they call, I'm trying to remember, I'll remember in a minute again. Wisdom, that was it. So Ace. Well, that's very Rider-Waite based, isn't it? You've got the 3 of them there. Cheers. Boredom. Nostalgia. You could transfer your skill if you really like these. Yeah, if you think, well, actually, I would love to try these, so. 9. This is Happy Ever After, so I'd be interested to know how this character here represents the Happy Ever After. Page. Knight, Queen. Oh, what a gorgeous Queen. Look at that. Green for healing. Raphael, very nurturing. And then the beautiful red hair. Stunning card. The King. Responsible chap. Right, and then we move on to the Charisma, which is the Pentacles equivalent. See, in the Rider-Waite, this is a juggling act financially, so she's obviously still trying to keep everything balanced, isn't she? She doesn't want anything to fall down. Creativity. And we've got a dragon. And another dragon. Remember, this is the Master Craftsman in the Rider-Waite, so that's very apt. Lovely. Okay, so you've got, these are the Dungeons and Dragons Tarot. It is literally a couple of days out into the marketplace at the time of this video, so I'm not quite sure when you're watching it. And just from a shuffling point of view, they do it from the card stock. They're quite thick. That's the back of them. They're not glossy, they're matte. They're very good quality. They do feel they are slightly narrower than a standard tarot deck and a bit longer. They feel there's quite a lot of them. It feels quite thick in your hand, but I can still hold them, and I've got quite a small hand, so I would be able to shuffle these. Because that's the worry sometimes, is they're too thick and then you're not easy to hold when you're shuffling, if you like to shuffle like I do, which is backwards and forwards. So those are the cards. Feel free to leave any comments and I'll have a little read of them. I hope you enjoyed them, and thank you for your time.